Let's give this a try. Here we go.
Hello?
Yes, hello, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I had to bring my phone to the Galaxy store 2 days ago, and the guy fucked it up worse than before I brought it there. It's not
That's not good.
okay. Well, I can hear you fine. If you're okay with it, we'll just go with me on the computer. This is the first time the voice worked on the computer in months.
Okay, good. How far away from the computer are you? Can you come a little bit closer, or put the computer where the speakers are a little bit closer to your?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. Wow, perfect. Yeah, I can hear you a lot better now.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Um, it has been a while since we talked the last time, and what's the latest?
Well, the latest is that I was supposed to see the lawyer on Friday morning, but he changed that till Wednesday afternoon at 4:00. So there really isn't any other information
Yep.
other than the fact that I gave him that video that Frank can't stop with telling people how many people want me and Bama dead. So
Okay.
it's annoying, but it's going to go against Frank if I add him to the case. And if we had a video with his face in it, talking to people to come to the Stanley House, I'd spend the other $1,000. Well, it's only $600 for the case. That, and I don't know what to do. I mean, Frank asked me to stop talking about him. I did for about 7 weeks. And every day his aggression got worse and worse and worse. Then he went to Barry, then he went to Bama. He can't stop. But he's annoying as all get out, and now he's the one that caused Ricky to come to my house. It was his idea, and now he's talking about people killing me. So I gave the soundbite to the lawyer. I don't know what he's gonna do with it. That's where we're at with that.
I was always wondering about that no face, no case issue. What's up with that? Is that for real? I mean, that would basically mean you can threaten people as long as you are not on cam, and I think that's not the case, because I know of cases where people have made comments on Facebook, and that was enough to do something legally against them. So, but I have heard of it that people just said just because he is not on cam, I mean his voice can be clearly identified.
That's correct. But in the Philippines, at that time, the NBI used 3 videos without his face in the videos. And the prosecutor refused to go further with the case, saying, we can't prove it's him. And I said, all you have to do is listen to his voice. And he said, yeah, but we can't prove it's him. Is that your face, Mr. Battaglia? He said, no, it's not my. He says, is that your video, Mr. Battaglia? And Frank said, no. He says, is that your channel? He said, no. He says, is that your voice? He said, no. That's when I jumped up and asked him to go outside, straighten us out in the park.
Yeah, and, but that's ridiculous, you know. Like, does the prosecutor expect that Frank would admit that it is him? Does the prosecutor expect that Frank would admit that it is his channel? I mean, if they would do this in a professional way, they would just link his IP address to the videos, and then they can say, look, that there are people using this IP address during this and this time that are directly linked to your internet in Bantayan or wherever he was, and then they could prove it was his channel. But I think that they are not doing that because it will probably take too much time and resources for them to do that. But you know, everybody knows Frank's voice. I mean, following that logic, basically, you could go on the internet, not show your face, and make all kinds of threats, right? As long as you don't show your face, which of course is an absurd conclusion. I find that that's probably a lame excuse on the part of that person, that prosecutor.
And I even offered to the prosecutor that I would get a voice analysis. He said, we don't use voice analysis in the Philippines. And, I was just sick when I went there. This country has so many things wrong with it. But to say that that's not Frank's voice, it's Frank's. Everybody knew it was Frank's voice. I mean, everybody knew. The lawyer knew. I said, ask his wife. Ask his girlfriend if that's his voice. And the lawyer jumped up out of his seat. You can't ask her that kind of question. I said, why not? And she said, and somebody said, you're not allowed to talk. I said, hey, screw you. I got 1.5 years into this case. And you're telling me because he doesn't have a fucking face in the video, you can't prosecute him? It's his fucking voice, this little coward, wormy little bastard that he is. And
I mean, it's absurd. I mean, it's almost comical. I mean, no face, no case. It's just comical. But tell me, what's the latest with your lawyer? And I think it's a good idea to include him. Because I think Frank has created this atmosphere of hostility towards you.
Well, I'm trying to include him, but they won't add it unless it has a face attached to it.
I mean, that
and he
of
knows
course that
that.
helps.
That's why he does that shit. Then he changes his channel. Then is that your channel? Because he had changed the channel name like every couple of days at that point. Is that no? He said no. That's not my channel. That's not my address. I mean, he's just a wormy little. He just
denied everything. Yeah.
Yeah, he just denied everything, and his lawyer got him off. And that's when he said, no matter what happens, I'm going to spend the rest of my life and all my money getting Fazio deported or put in jail. I mean, he's just an angry little man, and he is a little man, too. I mean, when you see him in real life, he's not a big man, but he's a worthless human being. I mean, what has he ever done in 7 years? He talks in his bedroom, talks the most...
Yeah. I understand. We are going to have a very nice show this coming Wednesday, I believe it will be, and we will dig into that, into Frank's personality and why he is on YouTube and other very interesting questions, together with WTF and Jerry Rizzo, similar to the one that we had on my channel, the Frank Festival. You said you will meet him again Wednesday, you said?
Wednesday at 4 p.m., but I'll probably go a little bit early, but I'll call you immediately afterwards.
Yeah, that would be cool, because people are actually very interested in this case. I want to tell you that, we published now 4 episodes of these phone conversations here, and people are very interested in it. I get a lot of good positive feedback. Of course, there's also negative comments. And I would like to discuss a little bit about that. I wanna know where you stand on these issues, because what I saw is that there were people who said, "Come on, Fazio, he's just making that up. All the injuries and Fazio is exaggerating. Fazio will probably drop the charges. Ricky will just pay him off." I would like to know from your side, what do you want to tell these people when they say
I want to tell them that I'm not, number one, that I'm not dropping the charges. I don't care how many people tell me they're coming, they're threatening me. It makes no difference to me. That it's possible, but it's not going to change my mind about dropping the charges, number one. And number two, you got this guy, Don C., this professional piece of shit troll that he is, okay, saying things like, he only smacked you. Well, hey Don, let me come up from behind you, smack you 4 or 5 times, knock you to the ground, kick you while it's off camera, and we'll see how you like that. This isn't complicated. And then you got, it's not complicated. Let me do this to you. And And you got the same guy, Don C. and Bill Clinton, saying we didn't see any injuries or bruises. No, you didn't. Some people don't bruise like other people. Number one, you get into like some people, you just touch them and they get a black and blue. Other people, nothing. They don't get black and blue. And as far as Don C. saying he never kicked his leg, how do you know that? How do you know what happened when I was on the ground, when he was kicking the phone and kicking at me? What do you think he was kicking when I was on the ground? What the hell do you think he was kicking, Dirt? He was kicking my damn leg, Don C. And that other little clown that followed, Richie Buwang, he was kicking my leg. Let me do this to you. This is what I want to do to you. I want to try this out with you. Just let me get you on the ground and kick you. And then on an injury that's a serious leg wound that I've had for a year and a half, he opened it up, ripped it apart. I had to go back on special antibiotics. But you didn't see it, so it didn't happen. It happened, and they treated me for it. And that's what happened. All of these people saying, I'm doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for the money. He could offer me stupid amounts of money. I want him in jail. I want him deported. He could offer me stupid amounts of money. I'm not dropping the charges.
I understand that.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen.
I want to ask you something else here, something that also came up in the discussions with all these people out there, because again, a lot of people are watching this, and I think that Bama is watching this, and Ricky is also watching this, because they made references to this live streams here, or this podcast phone calls, and they talked about it. But more interesting for me are the comments, and one of the comments, or a group of people who commented, they basically said nothing is going to happen. Ricky will not go to jail. And I would like to ask you, Michael, what would you consider a victory for you? What is it you want to happen?
The law in the Philippines is very clear. When you damage a person's fingers, their hands, their toes, their eyes, or their ears, you can go to jail for 6 to 12 years. My hearing is severely damaged because of this. I want him to go to jail. It's not complicated. He severely damaged my right ear, where I can barely hear anything from my right ear with that smack. So, because you can't see the damage inside my ear, the doctor saw it. Mm-hmm. The tests show that my ear is severely damaged. So because you didn't see it, it didn't happen, it happened. Because you didn't see my leg injury, I'll show you the wounds on my leg. I have no problem with that. But you don't have to see it. The hospital treated me for all of these things, and I have severe hearing damage from this, and he should go to jail for this. This isn't, he has no right to walk up from behind somebody. I didn't do anything to him. He has some stick figure prostitute girlfriend in Thailand that I said,
yeah, I understand.
And after he was saying, I'll give Daisy May 50,000 pesos and I'll bring it to a hotel room. About a year ago, he got drunk and said that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, after he says all that shit, then he lays it on the prosecutor, this bullshit story that, Fazio talked about my wife. I said, that's not your wife. Well, he talked about my girlfriend. It says, not your girlfriend either. Mm-hmm. Some girl picked up for a couple of days in Thailand, and then she didn't want to hear anymore after that because she knew where I was going with it. Mm-hmm. But you and all those people saying that he had the right because I said I bet people $10,000 that nobody's coming to my house. You could bet on that. Okay, so they came to my house. So come to my house.
I also find it rather amusing when people say Fazio brought this up on himself by basically saying things on the internet, and I just really don't know if a judge would look at this as a justification to trespass and to physically hurt somebody and to call somebody a child molester in front of their neighbors. Because I cannot follow the logic here. When friends come together and have a beer and then discuss something like, Fazio, he brought this upon himself because he was saying things on the internet. Okay, that can be an opinion, and I somehow can understand that. But what I find funny is that they believe that Ricky can use that as a part of his response to these actions that he has done, like the libel, slander, and generally the defamation. Because I believe he has not only done that on the internet, but I believe he has also written shit about you, and he has also, I believe, made comments, not only on the live stream, but also left comments on your channel, and of course also his followers. And of course we cannot know who these people are. Sometimes they would just use troll accounts, but I think all kinds of defamation was committed on behalf of him, like from his side. And that includes Frank.
Here's what I said to people. I said, you can come to my house and stand in front of my house all you want and yell at me. You are not going to like what happens.
Yeah.
And why? Because my landlord is the barangay captain, and I'm friends with everybody in the neighborhood. They're not going to allow it.
What I'm trying to figure out here, to make it shorter, some people say, because Fazio was talking shit to Ricky online on these live streams, this is the reason why Fazio deserved to be beaten up. And that's why Ricky can put that or bring that forward as a response, or basically as a defense of his action. And of course, I'm not a lawyer, nobody around here is one, but I think it is rather stupid to believe that any judge would use that as or would look at this as a justification to come to your place, hit you, and call you a child molester. I think what, in my personal opinion, and I know that there are people out there who don't agree to that, but in my personal opinion, I think that's completely irrelevant. I think what is relevant is that he has A, hit you, B, called you a child molester, and C, that you went online again on a live stream and said, when these charges go away, that's when the real shit really starts. That's, I think, what's relevant to this case, and not what he said in January, February, blah, 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 unless it is directly linked to this incident where he came to your place and harassed you and called you a child molester and physically hurt you, right? I think that's what this is all about.
He's not allowed to do that.
Exactly.
You're not allowed to do stuff like that.
Exactly.
Two of my friends were the deputy chiefs of police of two of the biggest cities in America. Both of them said, it wouldn't matter if I was talking about somebody's mother.
Yeah.
And what I did to a mother and how I did it and how often. I wouldn't make a difference.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say here. Thank you very much for explaining it in your way, because you hit the nail on the head here. It's exactly what I'm talking about. I think it's absolutely irrelevant what you said prior to that incident, because it would probably even help your case, because Ricky then might say, I felt provoked. I felt like I had to teach Michael Fazio a lesson. That's why I went to Bohol. That's why I was waiting in the room in Stanley House, and I waited until Michael Fazio would get online, and then I hit him. I attacked him. That's the whole. That would be the conclusion here. But at the end of the day, that's not going to be the part of the case, I believe.
No, it's not. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
What happened before the event? Not only that, he came halfway from around the world, from Texas, to do this.
Yes,
he
exactly.
He said he was going to do this on Valentine's Day, 2022. There's a video clear as day. He said, I'm going to Fazio's house. I'm going to frame him. I'm going to put him in jail, and I'm going to throw all the shit out on the street for the neighbors. Now, there are people that have that video, but no one will give it to me. There are people that have that It's a 4-hour and 59-minute and 30-second video. It's the last 9.5 minutes. It's Ricky's face saying those words.
Yep.
In the last 5 minutes. In the last 5 minutes, he's in some kind of a food store. Now, I know somebody that has it, and when I asked him for it after the attack, he won't even talk to me anymore. He won't answer his emails or Skype, and we were friends for 6 years. So somebody got to him and paid him off. There's no reason in the world why the fella's name was Andrew Steinmetz, Blue Rose. There's no reason in the world he would stop talking to me after 5 years, 5.5 years of being my friend, other than somebody paid him off. What other reason could there be? And he has the video. So they either threatened him or paid him off. Got to be that. One of those two things.
And you think that these are Ricky's people who did that in the background?
Somebody did it.
Yeah.
Here's the guy who had the video, was going to send me the link, said he copied it, and then after Ricky attacked me, I never heard from him again.
What do you think happened there? If you had to
I don't
speculate.
know. I'll put his phone number out online. People can call him up, but he doesn't answer the phone anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's about a guy who is based in the U.S.
Yeah.
Is he a guy who is somehow related to Frank, Bama, or Ricky?
Until that day, he hates Frank. Everybody hates Frank. You don't have to ask that. Frank reminds me of a dog. A dog took a dump, and it got moldy, and then it grew arms and legs, and then it became Frank.
I want to ask you, what kind of reactions do you get on your end, on your channel, and on your FB page, or in the meantime? Because I believe people are listening to these phone conversations. Are there any reactions, positive or negative? Maybe let's start with the positive. Are there people who came to you and say, I find that's a good strategy. You are transparent about this. You are doing these live streams or doing these podcasts, and I think you should keep going, keep the people informed. That's a good thing. I support you, Michael. Are there reactions like that?
Well, you only really have a few friends online, but every single one of them have said that they enjoy the podcasts, and they all think that I should follow through with not dropping the charges, and that they've all heard my live streams. Not one I have people that are the heads of unions that have thousands of people work underneath them indirectly. The head of the biggest casino in the state of Florida, the absolute head of they all say that the guy can't come to your house and do that kind of crap. Mm-hmm. And that nobody disagrees with me going online, and nobody has never said that what you said about them coming to your house and yelling profanities, they won't like the outcome. Nothing justifies him attacking me from the rear while I was live streaming. Nothing justifies that. That's an assault and battery, trespassing. There's all kinds of rules that the lawyer has written down. I don't know what the lawyer is going to do. I don't know how it's going to turn out. But if that's the case, that I have it on video, then that means that anybody can just walk up to Frank's house or anybody else's house, drag Frank out of the fence, and knock the shit out of Frank. If that's the case,
and call somebody a child molester. If nothing happens, that would be the logic out of it.
Well, that's the logic to it. Mm-hmm. If nothing happens to Richard Charles Jarrett, if nothing happens to him, then it's free reign on bloggers. And Bama would be a perfect target. Bama loves Ricky Drama.
Yeah.
Bama just can't get enough of Ricky Drama. Yeah. Bama, I really hope he comes back. I don't think he ever said anything wrong on the internet to have his channel taken down, and I never said anything to hurt anybody's feelings. Oh, no, Bama, no, you didn't say anything wrong. No, you just said, would you want to go out with a girl that rimmed my ass? That's all you said, Bama. That's all. You didn't say anything wrong. Would you want to go out with a girl after I did her up the ass? No, you didn't say anything wrong. No, you're a nice guy. You're a nice guy.
Speaking of Bama, on one of his last live streams, he mentioned that he doesn't want to side with you or Ricky because he likes the both of you. And I remember that we had a phone conversation, I think like a few weeks ago, and you also said, I think I remember you said you are more like neutral. Bama is not really hurting anybody, but it seems to me that you are not very happy about Bama's latest statements concerning or regarding the whole Ricky incident. Is that true?
Yeah, that's exactly true. Bama keeps saying it's none of my business goes on between Ricky Drama and Fazio, but he doesn't let. He's let over 200 people talk shit about me on his channel in the comments section. Mm-hmm. He ignores the comments. He doesn't take them down. He doesn't time the people out, and he doesn't remove the comment. But you say something bad about Ricky on his channel, he times you right out. He's sucking on Ricky's trolls to get people to come to his channel. He's an ass kiss, plain and simple. He's kissing Ricky's ass for subscribers and views. But even just today, he said, well, I want to stay out of it. I want to stay out. But he mentions my name 500 times since the incident. Well, mm-hmm. I don't know what happened between Ricky and Fazio. He watched the video. What do you mean he didn't watch it? He's a liar.
Yeah.
Straight up and down liar. There's nothing complicated about Bama. I didn't say anything wrong. I just said she rimmed my asshole. And maybe her kids heard it, but her kids shouldn't have been listening to my videos.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, because I do remember you had a more, let's say, neutral stance towards Bama, and it seems that has changed over the last 48 hours, because you really summed it up perfectly. Bama is actually not neutral in this. He just doesn't want to take a clear stance, at least not publicly. That's all there is. But you gave us an example. He times out the anti-Ricky comments, but he does not really do much about any other statements when it comes to you or the guys Bama doesn't like. And that's how Bama is. He doesn't really realize yet that he has been manipulated by Ricky as well.
And one more thing about Bama. I have never let anybody talk shit about Bama on my channel. Never. Not one comment ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because until I realized that he's just not going to be fair about this whole thing, well, I wished I had time to go to do all of this stuff, testify. Yeah, he said that, would you go out with a girl after she rimmed my ass? What? You think that girl's father wants to hear that, Bama? Hey, Bama, there's a question for you. Do you think her mother wanted to hear that? What about her children? You think her children wanted to hear it, Bama? No one wants to hear that kind of crap. No one talks about their girlfriend or their mother or their aunt like that. Only you do, Bama, and, of course, the creep in Battaglia. Just you two creepy little men. Creepy little men that you are. That's the only two people I know that talk like that. Bama.
I believe he gets the message here. I would like to ask you, you mentioned that over the last few days people have contacted you. They have sent you screenshots about what I commented, or what also links to things that I have said about you in the past or currently on the shows and in the comments. And I believe it's kind of like an attempt to drive a wedge between us. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? These attempts to basically say you shouldn't collaborate with the bad out of the winter.
Yeah, but in the same sense, what the guy sent me was just gibberish. I mean, it was you asking him legitimate questions and him not answering the question legitimately. You did. If you read your question, you were just asking him questions. that he somehow is twisting it around that you're hurting me. You're not hurting me. If you were, I would say it. If you were, I wouldn't talk to you.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Let's put it or let's make it very clear. No, I'm not trying to fuck with you here or mislead you. My intention, my goal is very clear. It's actually two things. One, I want the community to know what's going on because I'm curious myself. And before you and I started these phone call episodes, we never actually had any communication, and that dates back to the time when I was still trolling you and making fun of you, mocking you, and so on and so forth. So we really did not have any communication. And soon after that, I think that was like a year or so ago, you blocked me also on your channel, also on FB, and then there was no other communication. And what happened is that through common friends of ours, I told them, can you reach out to Fazio and tell him this and this and this is what is important. This and this and this is what he should do. Has he done this and that? And then these two guys, and you know who they are, they told me, you know what, Alo, I'm going to reach out to him. I got his email. I let him know. And then it took a couple of more weeks until you and I started to talk and record these phone conversations here. And I made it very clear in our private conversation that we didn't record that my interest in this is I want to know myself, and who would be better to talk to than you yourself, because you are the guy who is going out there. You are the guy who has been hit. You are the guy who has been called a child molester. So getting first-hand information from you, that was one of my goals, because I myself, I'm very curious what is going on, and I think I talk on behalf of many in this community. They want to know what's going to happen, because Jerry Rizzo, a guy that is known in the community as a very sharp, smart guy, he said that in one of our many conversations that we had over the last few days, he said, this is different. And he even told it to Frank, because he reached out to Frank, and then he told to Frank, look, Frank, we wanted to give you an opportunity to air your side. We wanted to hear your side of the story. And Frank actually reacted like what he usually does. He was very agitated and said, oh, Rizzo, you're just a troll. Because Rizzo told him, we want to know more about your side, and we wanna give you that chance. And Frank just turned it down. So we do know that people out there, they want to get first-hand information. And now that I'm talking to you, that's the perfect opportunity for me. And the second reason, or one of the other reasons, is I do sympathize with your goal of getting Ricky in to throw the guy in jail, because I do believe he deserves to be in jail. But I also made it very clear that if I had to take a bet, because it is the Philippines, I just always expect things to go wrong. I mean, if we were, let's say we were in Malaysia or Thailand or Indonesia, all these countries in the Southeast Asian region here, I would say, yeah, you got a really good chance. But I have been living in the Philippines so long, and I know how the system is. And although I sympathize and support your side, and for me there is no other good outcome than getting him deported or in jail, I just somehow expect, based on the many negative things that I have seen when it comes to the Philippine justice system, I think he will be off the hook. And that's not the outcome that I want, and obviously that's not the outcome that you are hoping for. But if I had to take a bet, and I had this discussion with one of the commenters in the chat, or I believe in the comment section of my channel, I told him if I had to take a bet, probably 70 to 80%, I'm pretty sure not much will happen. Again, that's not equal. Let me be very clear about that. That's not equal to me helping Ricky. my role here is it pisses them off. And it really does. How does it piss them off? The fact that I am talking to you, the fact that I am giving you a platform that you actually do not need, by the way, because you are a much bigger channel than my micro channel. But it is a different kind of group of people that I am associated with. And these are the people, by the way, who digged up information about Ricky, about his past, about his crime records, criminal cases that he had in Vegas, or about his family. And now he feels the pressure. He's not happy about this. And he has said it himself. Alo and the Winter crime family, they have hurt a lot of people. They have put down a lot of people. They have done bad things to people. And the truth to that is that we have come after, we went after people. But these people always, in every single case, always deserved to be called out. And if you want to use that word, harassed, they deserved it. Because most of these guys have warrants of arrests. Most of these guys have left behind children, have abused women, have been making horrendous fucking comments on the internet. And we reacted to that and we called them out for. So that is the whole point here. That's why.
Well,
yeah.
Go ahead. Let me ask you a question. Okay.
Yes.
This is serious. Okay. You got these fucking dirtbags on all over the Philippines, all over Thailand, all over Malaysia. They just go out with prostitutes and they abuse them for a couple of days, a couple hours. But not everybody puts it online. But that's it. Apparently, it's okay for that to happen. What have I done that's not okay to do? I work my ass off every day to accomplish a goal of building a hotel. And all I hear is, he's never going to build a hotel. He doesn't have... I have plans, Frank, you little piece of dirt with arms and legs. I have the permits. Dirt, Frank. I have all of the knowledge to build it. I have the tools. I have equipment here. What is it that I did to deserve Ricky or this Charles Jarrett to come halfway around the world to beat me up, other than Frank asked him to do it? What did I do to deserve this? That's a question. What did I do to deserve this? I'm out there busting my ass. I make videos. I walk around. I talk to people. I have hundreds of fucking friends. What did I do to deserve these two dirtbags, three of them really, coming against me and talking shit about me? What did I do to deserve this? That I have a big ego? Yeah, I've accomplished a lot in my life. Did I have an ocean racer? Yeah, I'm damn sure I had on your $50,000 ocean racer. Did I have a Cobra? Yes, I had a Cobra. Did I own cranes and barges? Yes, I did. These people have done nothing or showed nothing other than blah, blah, blah. So what did I do to deserve all of this hatred? That's a serious question. Do you know?
Honestly, I do not know. And that's because I am not familiar with the content of your channel. And I would like to ask you a question back. When was the first time that you and Frank clashed, and because of what?
Frank's a fucking nut job. Okay, just plain and simple. He was being abused by Dave Phelps, who I didn't know who Frank was, and I didn't know who Dave was. And all I did, I made a video. Maybe what are you bothering this guy for? This guy Frank Battaglia. What are you bothering him for? Maybe he can dance. That was the name of the video. Maybe he can dance, which meant maybe he knows how to fight.
Yep.
Within an hour, I got 6, 7, 8 messages on my. At that time, YouTube had a private channel where it wasn't spam. You could just message people. Private. We're from New York. We have to stick together. Let's get together and put a case against Dave Phelps. And that was one. And you're my blood. You're like Italian. Me and you are blood. We'll get together. We're buddies. Frank, I don't know you from Adam, man. I know people 30. I don't know you from nobody. You're a piece of dirt on YouTube. I made a video, a stupid little ditty video I made while I was digging a hole with the backhoe. I must have got 8 messages that day, and then I blocked them. Since that day in 2016, I have never corresponded with that dirtbag. Never. Not in any way, shape, or form. The first time I ever talked to him was in the courthouse. I never leave comments on his page, and I don't let him leave comments on my page. I never responded to his Facebook. He harassed Daisy May on Facebook. He talks about Daisy May using up all of Eugene's money. Now she's back with me because she's using me like an ATM machine. You know, Frank, one day somebody's going to take you serious, Frank, and they're going to come and clean your clock. And until that day, Frank, you should just be aware that being that you think it was okay for Ricky to come to my house and attack me on my property, maybe somebody's going to think that it's okay to go to your house and attack you on your property. Because you're a piece of dirt, Frank. You're dirt with arms and legs, Frank.
You know, your first encounter with Frank is a very similar one that I had. And he still does that, by the way, because what you just told us is that he tried to recruit you in his fight versus Dave Phelps, right?
Yes.
And he does that all the time, by the way. He does that all the time.
He befriends people, and then he turns on them 2 weeks later. He befriended Bruce Davis. He befriended Uncle Sam. He befriended Warren, and he gets them all to turn on the people that they were friends with, and then be friends with him, and then he turns on those people. He's a slimy little man.
You know the reason why
little man.
The reason why he does that is because he doesn't really want to be your friend. It's not about the exchange of whatever experiences people have had in the Philippines. It's about recruiting allies, getting allies, and he wants the allies to do the heavy bidding, to do the dirty job for him. Let me give you a short example. Many of you guys who are listening right now know this. Frank, a couple of weeks ago, sent me an email where he said, look, this is Bama's passport number. Alo, I need your help. Alo, I want you to publish this. And then I went back to him and said, why would I do that? And what damage would it do? Because the passport number actually means nothing. And a lot of guys out there agreed and said, who cares? Who cares about that passport number? But this shows what he is after. He needs somebody who does the dirty job for him. And that speaks a lot and says a lot about who he is and what kind of person he is. Because he has tried that not only with me, you, obviously, others. He is doing exactly the same right now when it comes to Bama, when it comes to Ricky. Because in the case with Ricky, he is trying to side with Ricky because he believes Ricky is the guy who is going after you. And there is communication between the two. Because as you remember, you were on one of these live streams a couple of days ago, and you said Frank was talking about information that he only could have gotten from Ricky. And I think
That's
it's about,
right.
it was the mall lawyer situation, right?
Right.
And I saw that too. And I heard that too. And I've read that too. And we discussed that and said, you know what? There must be a communication between the two. Because why is it that he was always making these comments that Fazio's lawyer is just a mall lawyer? And it was later where I saw your comment. I don't even know where it was, where you have written it, on what channel. But you said the son of your lawyer is a corporate lawyer for one of the bigger malls in Bohol. Is that correct? Can you give us a little bit more context here?
Yeah, my lawyer is the father of the man who has the law office in ICM Mall. And the man who has the law office in ICM Mall has that law office there because he's the corporate lawyer for ICM Mall in Bohol. So he's not only a lawyer, but he's a corporate lawyer, and he does all their legal work regarding rentals of properties and the renting of the square footage and the building and the contractors and stuff like that. But that's not my lawyer. My lawyer is the father of that man.
The father of that guy, yeah. And
So,
see,
but
that's something that they somehow mocked. And there's only one person who actually knows who your lawyer is, and that's the lawyer of Ricky and Ricky himself. And Frank knowing about this over on Bantayan Island really means that there is communication between the two. That would be the conclusion out of this.
Well, sure it is. If Frank is saying it, if Frank doesn't tell the truth about anything ever, he's a backstabbing, slimy little man, little man, little man, little man, little man. He's a liar. He lies about everything. He never said he was going to come to my house. And then when I produced the video where he was going to come to my house and throw stones at my house, he went dark, and then he went on 4 or 5 tirades of hate speech and rants and they're going to come and kill you. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. Because that inside his mind, it makes us even. What about Michael Schwager? What about Michael Schwager? Hey, Frank, what about Michael Schwager? Do you know who Michael Schwager is, Frank?
Apparently he doesn't know. Apparently he's claiming he doesn't know. He's never heard about him. It's very weird.
Michael Schwager is the son-in-law of Frank. He's married to his daughter. And when asked if he knows who Michael Schwager is, he said no, he never heard of that guy. Just like he said it wasn't his channel, it's not his voice, it's not his video. And who is Michael Schwager? Well, we don't know that the same Michael Schwager is Frank's son-in-law, but we do know that there is a Michael Schwager that was married to Frank's daughter, or the same name as Frank's daughter, Schwana Battaglia.
Yep.
And that boy is now in prison for 5 years for having child pornography on his computer. We do know that, but Frank doesn't know who that is.
Yeah, exactly. What you said is exactly true. But let me just add this. It is the same Michael Schwager. It is the same Michael Schwager. And the reason why... there's
a lot of wait. There's a lot of Michael Schwagers out there. There's got to be 200-300 Michael Schwagers in the Philippines alone.
Hang on a second. I tell you what, because there's an article where they mention a small town in Washington State, and I forgot the name, but it's in the article, and it's like a Ocalanda or something like that, Washington State, and that small village. It has a population, at that time, the guys checked that it had a population of 651 people. 651 people. So how many Michael Schwagers are in that place? Because it has to be more than that one. And that Michael Schwager, we found the picture, and we took the screenshot, where that same Michael Schwager is a friend of Shauna Battaglia.
No, it's a husband.
Yes, exactly. On the friends list on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So then you put this all together, and that is probably evidence enough to establish the link that we got the right Michael Schwager, because this is something else that we will be publishing. We get the marriage license. And the marriage license is the same age and addresses are the same than the Michael Schwager who is in that article. Now I ask you, how many Michael Schwagers are there? You said there are many, but how many Michael Schwagers are there in that 650 population village who are exactly that same age and who are on the friends list of Frank's daughter? There's only one.
But
and there's only one.
No. You see, that was an experiment done during World War II when the Germans were genetically experimenting. Out of those 650 people, probably 649 are Michael Schwager.
You know, I mean, the population itself, and Michael, we will we will come out with the evidence then, because as you said, it is very, very interesting to find out why did he deny that. And
Well, I know why he denied it. I know exactly why he denied it, because he didn't want to address that he's in the process of forming a corporation, Frank Schwager Photography for Children, and he didn't want anybody to take the name.
He just doesn't want he just doesn't want to have any link, or he doesn't want people to know about it, because as you said also on the last live stream or vlog, you said that there is an angle in there with kids in Hawaii, you know, and some people out there start to believe maybe Frank left the U.S. for a very, very good reason. Maybe he had to leave the U.S. given the link to Schwager, given all the trouble back in Hawaii. When you put this together, you'll see that there obviously is a link. Because one interesting detail that I have not mentioned yet is that we found out that Schwager has shared the same mail address in Washington State with Frank's older brother Al or Alfred, even before he was married to Frank's daughter. So very interesting details coming out more and more. And the guys are looking at it, and they wonder why does Frank not talk about this, and why did he leave the U.S. and why does he want to sell his house as soon as possible?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. You should look this up. Look up the area that he owns his house in, and look up child molesters, child predators, child pornography, and you will find that the area, Fern Acres, where Frank has his house, is one of the highest per capita of sex offenders, child sex offenders in the United States of America. 1 in every 281 people, I believe I read last year. So it's the highest per capita in the entire United States within a few miles of his house. Why did he move there? That's a good question.
Yeah, if you look at the papers, the legal documents, and if you know about Schwager, it is a fair question. Why did he move there, and why did he leave Hawaii now that he is facing these legal problems? And you know, Schwager, by the way, this is not an old case. This has been, I think, a case in the 2020, just before the pandemic, I think, or during the pandemic, 2020, 2021. So this is not like 5-6 years ago. This just happened around the time when Frank decided, let's sell the house, let's leave. No,
well,
so
you know, Frank keeps claiming that this is hearsay against him and the child. It's not hearsay. Michael Fazio, I called up the police. I told the police he was online talking to an 8-year-old child about my penis. Okay, we'll use the nice word. But he calls the mushroom. That he made 100 videos. The mushroom man. The Fazio has a mushroom for a penis. And then he was singing this and explaining it to a child.
Yeah, I know. It's very disturbing, okay. And it's all in the legal. It's very disturbing, and it's all in the documents. It was included in the documents, and you know, these documents are out there for the guys who have not seen this yet. These documents are out there, and you can go and read them for yourself. You know, it's public information.
Yeah, you can go up on Ekula court system and put in his name, his first and last name, and you go to the page, and it's all there. Now, why was he talking about my penis to a child? I think it's I do not know, but there's surely a reason for that. I don't think that this is fabricated.
And again, when you look at Al, you look at Schwager, look at him, his behavior over the years, then you put one and one and one and one together, and then you'll see that there might be a good reason why he left the United States. Do you have communication still with the tenants? When was the last time you talked to them?
Of course I have communication with the tenants. I'm part of the case.
And when did you talk to them the last time, Michael?
Well, actual talk, it's all emails at this point. We don't have personal conversations, but they informed me that Frank was supposed to zoom in on a call with the tenant-landlord dispute. He was supposed to zoom in or show up in person, but he left the country with the agreement that he was going to zoom in the case. And he didn't do that. So they postponed it until August, 5 months down the line. He says he postponed it, maybe so. But he was supposed to show up last week in a Zoom call, not in person. He was supposed to show up last week and talk about his side of the case and what he believed is true and false, and he didn't call. I was on the call. He didn't call. He didn't show up. His lawyer didn't show up. Nobody zoomed in for him. He just zoomed the court. Now that case has been pushed forward also. See, he's hoping that the same way no face, no case, well, if I don't answer any of these requests through emails and phone calls, he just ignores them. And if I don't answer them, maybe this will go away. Hey, Frank, it's not going away. It's not going away. It's going to get worse, dude. Because if I have to go to America and swear in on a Bible what you did, I will, little man. You just think that everything you do, you have an answer for everything. You just wait. You just wait till this is all over. Don't worry about what you're going to do. Worry about what's about to happen to you legally, of course, little man, little man, little man, little man, little man. Just worry about that. You can't. You're always saying you can run, but you can't hide. Dude, you didn't show up for your Zoom call. You didn't show up for your hearing. You were going to slam the tenants with a $16,500 bill. You were going to slam the tenants. You're going to get your money or else they're all going to float. You said that in videos, little man, and then you walked away from the case. Why did you do that if you were so sure? Why did you walk away from the case with the kid? The kid is the witness. It's not hearsay, little man. The kid is the witness. I'm a witness.
Why do you think is he not participating in this? I mean, at the end of the day, it will just backfire because sooner or later he has to face this. He has to participate. He has to do his part in this legal process. What do you think could be his motive here?
I don't know. I think he just thinks if he just ignores it, it'll go away. They'll get tired of the legal fees. I'm the person who got these people $1,000 to do a voice analysis. Frank, I did that. It was my idea, and I got the people to pay $1,000 for the voice analysis. Voice analysis proves that the video where his faces are not in, his face is not in the videos, it's his voice. So he can't deny this anymore. So he's behind the 8 ball. You know, I don't know. I guess he just thinks that if you just ignore it long enough, maybe somebody will die or they'll forget about it. They're not going to forget about it. If I have to take the money out of my own pocket, I'll pay for their lawyer, Frank.
What do you know about Alfred Battaglia? What do you know about him, Al?
What I know about him, I cannot say.
Okay, cool.
There's nothing. I can't prove anything about him. I don't know. All I know about him is that him and Frank, the biggest thing they've ever done on YouTube is they traveled 20 miles to save 10 cents on 2 gallons of vinegar. No, that's true. They went to the store 10 miles away. They traveled 10 miles in a car, and they talked about the price of vinegar was 20 cents cheaper for the 2 gallons of vinegar and they spent 20 miles worth of gas and wear and tear on a car to save 20 cents.
What do you think is the reason that these two guys, brothers, still live together in a house? I mean, at that age.
Because, well, no, in that...
Isn't that a little bit strange? Or is it just me?
No, they lived in separate houses, but Al had to be close to Frank because Al can't cut his own toenails, and Frank cuts his toenails for him.
Okay. Where is Al now? Is he still at the house or is somewhere else? Or who is at the house, at that Hawaiian house?
I don't know that. I have no idea. I can't say because I don't have any connection to the house or anything like that.
The tenants already moved out there? Is that what you're saying? They are staying at the new place already?
Yeah, the tenants moved out back probably in last July or August, something. A long time ago.
Because I'm not too familiar with the case itself.
Frank and Al, they stayed together because Al couldn't cut his own toenails, and Frank cut his toenails for him.
Is the guy disabled or something, or what's the reason for that? Does he need some...
Well, I don't know. I think Frank got a thing for toenails.
When is the next hearing, the Hawaiian hearing? When you mentioned August, is that another Zoom call or what's going to happen?
I don't know.
Okay.
They only tell me what needs to be told me for like the week before. Now they told me that it's pushed ahead till August or in the future, and they didn't say what day because I didn't really ask them. They just said that it's going to be pushed ahead into the future, and I'm not even sure that they had a date at that point. But
okay, yeah.
Know he did.
Do they seek compensation, financial compensation, or what do they want to happen? What's their goal?
I don't know that, but I mean, the fact that the police didn't follow up with this, they could literally sue the police for lack of due diligence. Because the police didn't. I was on the phone with the police officer while he was in Frank's driveway. I was on the phone with him.
What did you tell them? What did you tell them?
I told them there's a guy there named Frank Battaglia, and the day before, because that day they couldn't send out an officer, that he was on live stream talking about my penis to a child. It was all in the report. I made a legal report. It's all in the report, and he's going, well, I'm standing here now. There's no child. I'm going, well, that was yesterday. I mean, it was a stupid conversation. That was yesterday the child was there.
But they went out there. They went out. The cops went out there.
Oh, yeah, they went there. And he said, well, I'm standing there talking to his brother, and his brother says he's not here. I'm going, well, I don't know where he is. Maybe he's hiding behind the water tank. I don't know where he is. I'm in freaking Philippines.
And how did that conversation end?
The cop just said, sir, there's nothing I can do. There's no man here, and there's no African-American boy here. And we can't. And I said to him, go knock on the child's door. He lives right next door. He said, no one's home. I said, well, and that's all you're going to do? He goes, yeah. And I said, okay. And I said, thank you. And that was it. I hung up. I mean, we agreed to hang up, and we hung up on each other. And I let that go. Yeah. I let it go. I didn't say it. I didn't mention it on YouTube or nothing like that for months. I let it go. And then somebody else found out about it. Somebody else saw the video and of the audio file of Frank talking to the child. And whoever that person is, we know him as Batman. And Batman took it upon himself, from whatever country he's from, because he's not from the Philippines, to send out thumb drives to all of Frank's immediate neighbors and the child's mother and father, who are not married, but it's the boy's real mother and father. And this Batman sent out the thumb drives and a flyer with the thumb drives. I don't know. I didn't see the envelope, but he sent out envelopes. That's what I understand or remember, with the thumb drive and flyers in it to the neighbors and the mother and father. And the mother and father lost their mind and got in touch with me.
Yeah.
and said, "Are you the person that called the police?" Because whoever knew about this knew about the police records. Also, Batman, whoever Batman is, he's got contacts, or he knows how to circumvent, or he knows how to find out information, like you. And Batman sent out the flyers. Then the woman, the mother and father, went nuts. They went berserk, and we talked, and she asked me, "Do I have the original?" I said, "I have a copy of the original. I don't have the original." And then Batman did it again to more neighbors. This guy Batman, he gets around, and that was the second time somebody sent out flyers with Batman postage stamps on it or some shit like that, and that's when Frank knew it was Batman that did this, and he knew it was, he deduced the genius, the genius law mind that he is. He was standing outside his house and said to the child, "What's your favorite, superhero?" And the boy said, "Batman." And then he took it upon himself to blame the parents of the boy for sending out the flyers in the thumb drive. Well, they sell Batman stamps at the post office. Could be anybody.
Can you tell me a little bit about how the parents reacted then? I mean, what was their reaction? I mean, you talked to them, right?
Oh yeah, at that point, yeah, they immediately went out and got a lawyer. Immediately. It was that day.
So they didn't even know about it yet until somebody sent it out. Yeah.
Right. They didn't know about it, and I didn't contact them until they contacted me. They asked Batman, because apparently Batman gave them an email address.
Yeah.
They asked Batman to get in touch with me to get in touch with them. So I did. So, but they didn't know about the child. They didn't know about the video. They didn't know about him talking about my penis to the child. They had no idea how it happened. But he blames me for this.
I think that's one of the reasons why he hates you so much. I think that's one of the reasons why he wants to get even with you. I mean, that would explain his hate for you, basically. Do you think that's one of the reasons why?
Well, I don't know. I mean, did you ever talk to an 8-year-old child about another man's penis?
No, absolutely not. But I think that's something that I think that's something that Frank would do, and given the Schwager link, I think there is more to it than that. There's more to it than that. I think that makes him very nervous about something. He's probably very nervous about something. But let's change topic here for a second. What do you think will happen next here? I mean, when you compare Bama with Frank, do you think that they are the same kind of people?
Well, they both lie. They lie about everything. Bama says, I'm not an alcoholic. You drink every day. That's an alcoholic. Okay, let's put some facts down on the table, Bama. If you drink every day, then you're an alcoholic. And all of that soda that you drink soda 24/7. That stuff is poison for your body. And you drink the most expensive stuff. I mean, you have very expensive taste, and you say you don't have any money, but you have money for steak. Why? And Bob, I got a personal question for you. Why in God's name would you buy a ribeye steak and smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day where you couldn't taste it even if you wanted to taste it? How could you taste it? You can't taste. You could put salt on your hand and not taste salt, Bama. Okay, so what part of, are they not the same? They both lie about everything. I don't smoke that much. I'm down to a pack of it. But if you count his cigarettes, he smokes a cigarette every 3 minutes. When he puts one out, he smokes another one 3.5 minutes later. That's 2 to 3 packs a day. That's $150 to $200 a month in cigarettes. That's a third of his income. But if you say that to him, he gets offended. That's my business. It is your business, Bama. But don't cry about being broke and smoke $150 worth of cigarettes a month. Don't do that. Don't pour barbecue sauce on your chicken and let half of it go into the charcoal. That's a waste of food. Don't drink two or 3 liters of Coca-Cola a day. That's poison, Bama. I'm doing you a favor, Bama. Just like you're doing me a favor by not talking about me and Ricky, but letting everybody's comments stay on your page forever. I don't want to talk. What's between him and Fazio? He must have said what's between Ricky and Fazio is their business 500 times since Ricky trespassed onto my property and attacked me. I bet you he said it 500 times. He's let 200 people comment about me in the last 3 weeks on his page. I watch his worthless dribble. I'm not afraid of anybody. No, you shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't have to be afraid of anybody coming for you, Bama. But you shouldn't run your mouth that you're not on anybody's side, and you hide Ricky's the detractors, and you let people talk shit about me, Bama. 200, 300 comments in the last few months, and you don't think there's anything wrong with that? You're a two-faced, duplistic liar. Just to be on the positive side without calling you anything derogatory, you're a liar, Bama.
I would like to ask you, what was your reaction, and when did you find out about Ricky's channel being down, that YouTube took it down? How did you find out about it, and what was your reaction?
Everybody's about 8 or 10 people said Ricky's channel is down. I don't watch his channel. I haven't watched a single minute of Ricky Drama videos. Daisy, have I watched any of Ricky Drama's videos in the last month? Have you ever watched me watch one of them? Never. No, she said no. I don't watch his crap. Just like Richie Buong sends me videos with mentions. He mentions me. I don't watch that crap. It's not. I don't care about any of that stuff because I can't. I have video of him attacking me on my property. Do I need more? What more? I have video of him saying when the case is dropped, he's going to do it again. This time it's going to be worse. Do I need more? I have video of Frank saying they're going to come and throw stones at my house. Do I need more? I don't need more.
You got all you need then. You got all you need. But who told you? Was it your subs who told you? And what did you think about that? You felt like, okay, it's about time that YouTube does something about this, or you just felt like, I don't really care, or what went through your mind then?
I don't care one way or the other because his life doesn't affect me other than the fact that he came to my property. I never bothered with him until he said he was going to drop 50,000 pesos on Daisy and then walk out of a hotel with her. Walk out of a hotel. That was like a year and a half ago. I didn't pay any attention to him. He doesn't bother me. I don't like it, what he does, and as far as him being off YouTube, I mean, if it was up to me, a lot of people would be off YouTube, but you can complain to YouTube till the cows come home, nothing happens. So it surprised me that they took his channel down. But of course, if you ask Bama, Bama swears Ricky never did anything to hurt anybody's feelings. Ricky doesn't have anything that has to sexual content. No, Bama, you're not lying. You're not lying. You're not an alcoholic. You didn't take sides between me and Ricky. No, and you didn't attack Frank when you had the opportunity in TGIF. You two guys are just running your mouth at each other. You're just running, blah blah blah. How many? 200 videos? Yeah, but Bama, I will give you a word of advice. When Frank says he has a video of you saying that you're going to slash his throat, well, I think that was a little bit over the top, Bama. I really think that was. Now, I don't know. I don't know what YouTube didn't strike you for it, but you shouldn't upset Frank like that. He's a very frail man.
Let me ask you. Earlier, I asked you about the first encounter with Frank, and that dates back to the Dave Phelps time, Quentin Belieu. I did a lot of shows with Dave back then. That was just I think 2016, 17, around that time, just the time before the RRR show was created. I would like to ask you the same question about Ricky D. When did you have uh, when was your first encounter with Ricky D? Because you said he said something rather nasty about Daisy. Uh, was that the first time he insulted you and her, or is that even was there another incident prior to
Yeah,
that?
it was when he was doing those 1 minute rants
Yeah,
back
in
when
Germany.
he was
Mm-hmm.
doing in Germany. I think it was in Germany. He was
Mm-hmm.
doing those 1 minute rants, and
Yeah.
Jack Thompson, who was a friend of mine, said something that Ricky talked about you and Daisy. And when I listened to it, I didn't like it, but I never said anything to him. I just realized that the guy's a dirtbag. That's all. I mean, it's not complicated. When you tell somebody you're going to give somebody's girlfriend 50,000 pesos to sleep with you, and then make a video of you walking out of a hotel room, well, that's really not a good thing, you know. But I couldn't. I know Daisy is not going to do that. I mean, I have enough faith in Daisy
Oh yeah,
to
yeah.
know, you know. So it didn't
But you know
affect
that
me, but I
it
didn't.
was during that time then, because he did that with many people. I mean, he was in Germany. He was doing these 30-second vlogs, 1 minute, and then he would
Yeah,
talk bad about people in the YouTube community, not only in the Philippines but basically everyone else, because he wanted to get a reaction. That's how he started his channel, and he had very few views and subs back then. That was when he was, I believe, visiting relatives in Germany, and that's just before the election in the US. That was around 2019, 2020, I believe,
right,
during that
right, yeah.
time. And that's when he came on the scene. So, yeah, I do remember. And, my reaction actually was the same as yours. You just laughed it off and you said, okay, who is this guy? And then you just moved on, like most of us, actually.
Well, I wasn't subscribed to him. People would say, "Did you see what Rick?" I don't give a shit what Ricky Drama says. That's just stupid stuff he's doing. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
and at the time, I even said to myself, "You can't get away with that much longer. You're going to get your channel taken down." And not so long after that, those little videos, whatever channel they were on, they all. I don't know if he lost his channel or the videos he took down. I don't know because I
Mm-hmm.
don't follow it.
Yeah.
But he was doing that to Gary, to Chi's boyfriend. Oh, he was doing it to everybody. Who pays attention to shit like that? Yeah, I'm outside busting my ass to do stuff in the rain and the sun, going to get parts, ordering materials, ordering machinery. I don't have time for that shit. I really don't. I didn't watch a single YouTube video except Bama today, which really pissed me off. He said it again. I don't think Ricky did anything at the 12-minute and 25-second mark. I don't think Ricky did anything wrong. I don't think he. I don't think. I think. I'm waiting for his channel to come back. I'm going to give him a shout out. Well, he's entitled to give Ricky a shout out if he wants, but he sticks up for. He's sucking on Ricky's subscriber list. Whatever he could suck off of Ricky's channel.
He actually doesn't.
Troll.
He actually doesn't really realize that he is also being manipulated by Ricky, because Ricky is the type of guy who actually manipulates everyone. Because you can't be friends with Bama and Frank at the same time, because he was there at TGIF and he set it up, and he tries to come off as the guy who is like neutral and trying to protect the both of them. But I believe that he would have let the two fight in the restaurant if it wasn't for your case. Because by then, as you remember, the TGIF incident was after your incident with him in Bohol. And I think he knew he cannot get into trouble again in TGIF, because that's where he said to Frank, "Hey Frank, I invited you today. I feel responsible for your safety here. I don't want you to get into any trouble, and so on and so forth." It's just all the blah 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 that came out of his mouth. It was just nonsense, because I believe that it was a setup, because
So
Bama would not have
and
been there, if it wasn't
right,
for Ricky. And he actually even delayed the live stream. He actually
that's
even
right.
delayed the live stream, and the reason is because Bama being the complete fool he is, wasn't able to find the place right away. So they delayed it a little bit, and then all of a sudden Bama would be there, because as you remember, the TGIF restaurant that evening wasn't full or anything, and having all these vloggers in that same TGIF during the same time is not a coincidence. It isn't Frank who set it up. It's not Bama who set it up. It was Ricky D himself who coordinated this, because when they met, they were kind of like familiar, so hi, how are you, and so on and so forth. And Bama doesn't realize that Ricky doesn't give a shit about him, and Frank doesn't realize that Ricky doesn't give a shit about him. That's the truth.
And Frank is too stupid to understand that Ricky set him up, or afraid to say it, because he needs Ricky, because he's a coward in and of itself. Frank is a coward. He needs other people to do his dirty work for him. And
Absolutely.
Ricky was the perfect what a fall guy for this. So Frank, we're going to come after you if I find that video with your face in it. But in the meantime, Ricky should be only mad at you for what's happening to Ricky, whatever's happening. And you know what else really pisses me off? I would say that Ricky's subscribers gave him upwards of $5,000 to $10,000 for his defense fund, and nobody on his page came forward to give me a dime. And even though I'm in the right, and that's okay. I mean, but that's okay. But not you think that somebody in that bullshit troll account system that he has there, somebody would have come forward and said, Mike, I think even Bama, I'm sure he'll remove them now. I have several video recordings on Facebook where Bama says, Mike, I think that Ricky did the wrong thing by you, and I agree with you. But he's afraid to say it. Now, of course, he'll take him down. But and I'm not going to.
Bama is afraid of Ricky. There are people who are afraid of Ricky. Bama is one of them. Frank definitely is afraid of Ricky. A couple of the people who are not commenting on certain channels are intimidated by Ricky. And I don't want to name names here, but obviously there is a small group of people. They would not comment on certain channels because they fear that Ricky would A, ban them, or B, will come after them and accuse them of associating with the Alo de Winter crime family, or, like what happened to Roberto, or Big Kev, or WTF, or Tony Hutchinson, or others. Ricky tries to somehow intimidate them. And, the funny thing here is why do grown men let that happen to them? Why are they getting intimidated by a guy like him, a complete clown? Why do they fear him? Why do they A, respect him, and B, why do they fear him? I also did not find the answers to that yet. Because it's obvious. It's obvious. Because Bama wouldn't react that way. He is trying to, how should I say, he's trying to cozy up to Ricky. And the same is true with Frank, which is insane because Bama and Frank are each other's arch enemies. But in the middle, you get Ricky, who basically manipulates all the sides. So I do not know. But people tell me that Ricky might run, and Ricky might use the fact that his channel is down, has been taken down on YouTube as an excuse. He might pop up somewhere in Vegas, and he would claim, look, I didn't see any reason anymore to do any Philippines YouTube channels. I mean, no Philippines live streams anymore. I just left the Philippines, and here I am back in the US, and that's the real reason why I left. That's a very plausible scenario in my book, I believe. That's something that I could very well imagine could happen now, and that's because I think that if you continue with this legal case here, he might get very nervous about it. I don't think that this is just going to go away. At least he might think it will just go away, but I feel that he is nervous about this. I think, and it's also what the people tell me who are lurking in his Discord group, the Heminger Discord group, because we get information from all kinds of people in the background, and they tell me that he is not happy about this, and he was raging about the fact that the channel was taken down. He was very, very unhappy about it, and The last thing I heard is that he's trying to appeal it, and the chances of him getting back with that channel is very small. It's very small. I would like to ask you, in the meantime, is your lawyer working on the case? Does he still need anything? Did he ask you for anything? Is there some movement on the case itself, or will you only know when you meet him next week? What's
Well,
the
the
status there?
only thing that we could use those two videos. The one
The
where he
videos,
was
yeah.
in America in Las Vegas. It's a 4-hour and 59-minute and 30-second video.
Yeah.
And the last 10 minutes, Ricky clearly states he's coming to my house. Hey, fuck you, Fazio. Fuck you, Fazio. Fuck you, Fazio. I'm coming to your house. I'm going to frame you. I'm going to put you in jail. And then I'm going to throw all your stuff out on the street for your neighbors. That's in the last 9 minutes of the video.
Yeah. But other than
And
that,
then,
it's you guys are looking at videos and collecting videos and not discussing the strategy as of now. That will happen after the next meeting. Is that correct?
yeah, and the lawyer's putting together a montage of the videos where he's going to do worse after the charges are dropped, and Frank talking about throwing stones at my house. That's why he asked me for a video of Frank saying he'll pay for people's half the price of the Stanley house if they come and harass me.
Is he editing that stuff, or what do you mean?
Yeah, his legal secretary is
editing it.
editing all the sound bites. That's correct.
Will you get a copy of that? And I believe you will. Would you be willing to forward that to me and others to publish that?
Well, when the lawyer says I can do that, sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I would also like to inform you once again, but that's just a formality. I recorded these phone conversations for the purpose of uploading it later onto my Out of the Winter channel. That is, as usual, is also okay with you, right, Michael?
Well, it's all okay except the part where I mentioned that Bama talking about his girlfriend rimming his asshole. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. I think it's perfectly okay that a guy says that and then thinks that he didn't do anything wrong if there's something wrong with the guy himself. Because talking about a woman rimming your asshole,
yeah, but good.
And then saying, and then
yeah. I understand that part. Yeah. What I will do is I will just try to make sure that I will upload it at the time when everything dies down a little bit and when the heat of it is out, because when the heat is down, because I think when everything cools off a little bit, because as you know, I never upload these videos in the same at the same time. I always wait a little bit when things are a little bit more.
Bama, you got to play that. You got to stop talking about women rimming your ass.
Yeah. And I understand that. Yeah. So I suggest, Michael, that we talk again after your next hearing with your lawyer, because I do believe that by then you will have a strategy in place, and the lawyer will tell you, okay, this is what we are going to do, and then I believe after that you will just need to wait for that notification coming from the court, because that can take a few days, a few weeks, or even a few months, given the situation there in Bohol. The court, is that the regional trial court? Is this a regional trial court that we are talking about here?
I have no idea. I really don't know.
Okay, that's something that you can ask your lawyer the next time.
I gave my lawyer all the documents. He's got every bill from every hospital, every medicine, or the ultrasound. I gave him the entire package of documents so he could screenshot and Photoshop whatever he wanted.
How high are your legal fees as of today? What are the costs? I mean, not the medical costs. We talked about that on one of the earlier episodes. But your legal fees as of now, can you give us a short overview there?
The legal fees in the Philippines, all these people talking about their lawyer cost them $1,000. It's all bullshit, okay? The lawyers, when you meet them, they tell you that we are going to charge standard Philippines prices per case. And the standard Philippines price per case is $600. However, Each time they appear for that case, you pay them 3,000 pesos. So if you have 2 cases, you pay them $1,200 for the 2 cases, and then each time they appear and represent you for each one of those cases, you pay them 6,000 pesos, 3,000 plus 3,000. So if the case is 600 per case, if the lawyer represents you 3 times, add 9,000 pesos. If he represents you 5 times, add 15,000 to 30,000 pesos. And that's a standard procedure. So all these people saying my lawyer was 1,000. No, it doesn't work like that. They charge you a standard amount of money to take care of every lawyer I've spoken to. And one thing, there is something, somebody goes, how come I had to go to 3 different lawyers? No, I didn't go to 3 different lawyers, you moron, whoever that was. I forgot who it was. The first lawyer I went to is soliciting to be the town councilor or something like that. So he could not take my case. Second lawyer I went to showed up 15 minutes late for our appointment. At that point, I had already dismissed any possibility, but I sat down with them for about 9 minutes. I gave them a pile of papers. I said, don't mix that stuff up, because it's all in order. They were my medical records and the bills that went with each record. And he started throwing them on his desk like he was shuffling a pack of cards. And I said to him,
I remember that. And it's actually really good that you bring up these points here right now, because I forgot to ask you that, because there were people in the comments who made fun of this, mocked us for even doing this. They always said something like, Fazio is going from lawyer to lawyer, everybody is turning him down. That's because he probably insinuating by doing that, insinuating that Fazio has a very weak case. This case is not going anywhere, it's all BS, and this is why all these lawyers are turning down Fazio's case. And then I tried, and I think you saw that comment, I tried to reason with these people, and I told them, listen, that's perfectly normal, because Fazio is in an area of the Philippines, Bohol, where people, it's just, the Tagalog word is magulo. It's like it's unorganized. It's not very sophisticated. You know, you go in, and then sometimes the lawyers will decide, okay, I want to take on this case or not, and they come late, and even the judge didn't show up. Even the judge is and the medical professionals, sometimes they put something in the medical report, and sometimes they forget it, and you need to go back, and even the prosecutors, they let's just put it this way, everything is very, very unprofessional sometimes, and that's the reason why. And it doesn't mean that, in my opinion, it doesn't mean that you have a very weak case, or that it is that it should be considered as a bad sign, or that you have a weak case. I mean,
well,
that's just the truth. That I think is just the truth. Even if you would even if you went to 5 lawyers and they turned you down for whatever reason, that's perfectly normal, because you have to find the right guy. And he also insinuated, I think it was a guy who uses my name as his troll channel. He also insinuated that because your lawyer is an older guy, he insinuated that he must be a senile dude who doesn't know what he is doing, and he needs some English translator, and he mocked that guy for using help with that. And in my view, that's, I think, nothing unusual for the Philippines. I don't see anything negative with that. There's nothing bad about that in my personal opinion. But you will get a lot of these kind of comments, Michael, over the next few weeks and months, because people will indeed make fun of it, and try to discourage you and try to question your motive behind this. The reason is they are rooting for the other side. That's it. There's nothing else to it.
that's their prerogative. But what these clowns don't understand, you Google Michael Fazio's real jobs. You come to a guy named Michael Fazio who's owned cranes, barges, tugboats, backhoes, pile driving rigs, racing cars, $1 million houses in Florida. And these people have accomplished nothing in their life. I'm not. The lawyer isn't interviewing me as to whether or not he's going to take my case. I'm interviewing the lawyer to see if he's competent enough to understand what's going on, and then I will allow him to represent me. I don't need anybody to tell me what's right and wrong. I'm right here. I was viciously attacked on my property. I have a case, but are you competent enough? Do you have the wherewithal? Do you have the resources to take care of what I need? I interview the lawyer. I've done 1,000 contracts between myself and other people over the last 40 years. I've never broken a contract or reneged on a price in 40 years. I have zero. I have not a single case against me for my business practices in America in 38 years. So I interview the lawyer. The lawyer doesn't interview me.
I have a rather personal question here, and I would still like to ask you this question, and you don't need to answer it, but I saw that in the comments there are basically two groups. One group says, Michael Fazio doesn't have the money to follow through with this. Michael Fazio is a poor guy. He doesn't have the cash for it. The guy will lose. He can't keep up with this. And then there's another group who says, don't underestimate Michael Fazio. And I tell you why. He only appears he has no money and he is broke. But don't dismiss him based on his appearance, because this is a guy who every now and then buys construction material, tools, and so on and so forth. And I never made up my mind there, because I just hear both sides. One side says the guy is broke, has no money. The others say, no, not so fast. Why would he buy all these fucking tools if he had no money? What would be your reaction? Is that something you want to say something about?
First of all, none of these people are competent enough to do what I'm doing. Number one. And if they are, they can't, because they're in the Philippines and they wouldn't know how to put it together. They wouldn't know how to put the deals together that I put together here. Number one. Number two, what am I living on if I have no money? I eat good. I live in a beautiful place, and I buy a lot more. My expenses for equipment supersede most people's expenses for the year. I just don't show it. So what is it that how am I broke? I don't understand how I'm broke. I got Daisy living with me. We still do everything that normal people do. What is it? They're listening to that little rat dirtbag Frank when he's broke. But Frank's been saying I'm broke for years, and then I went and bought a rebar bender. And Frank's been saying I was broke for years. Then I bought a jackhammer. And then Frank's been saying I'm broke for years, and then I go out and buy $1,000 worth of lumber. And Frank's been saying, I go out and buy a cargo container, $20,000 with equipment. I bring it from New York. How am I broke, Frank? Oh, yeah, and Frank's been saying he's going to get my motion of consideration stopped, but that didn't happen because Frank's a little wormy liar. That's what Frank is. A wormy little man. So,
yeah, but I'm glad that you addressed that, because I hear that a lot, because there's, again, two groups. One say, Fazio, broke, no chance. And then the other say, no, not so fast. The guy's buying tools, buying all this stuff. He must have money. At least he has the financial muscle to follow through this. And you just perfectly explained it to me, that based on the tools and lumber and all that, there are finances. I mean, there is a certain amount of money in the background. Because I also came to that conclusion. I was also thinking about that, and I thought, like, if Fazio didn't have any money, how come he is always buying all that stuff? And again, I'm not familiar with the
Well,
content on your channel,
what?
but when you said that you cashed out more than $1,000 for all these medical tests and examinations, then I thought, maybe he has money than more than meets the eye, based on the way how you present yourself, usually on your live streams. That's what I
Well,
meant.
what about the cement mixer I bought 6 or 7 months ago? That was $1,200. What did I buy a cement mixer for if I'm not going to build a hotel? Well, for what reason?
Yeah, that actually shows there is money for that equipment, and therefore the conclusion is maybe Fazio has the financial muscle to follow through with these legal steps. And I believe you wouldn't do this if you were not able to, if you were not capable of paying that lawyer, right? That would be my
When you
conclusion out of this.
when you listen to that idiot Frank say he's got no money, he's spending his last what? I'm spending my last what, little man? What am I spending the last? Tell me, little man. When have you ever been right about whether or not I was broke? Were you right about me not paying my immigration fees? No, I paid my immigration fees. Little man, you don't know what's coming to you. Just wait a few more months, little man.
Speaking of the immigration fees, how many pages was that motion of consideration that you talked about last week? How many pages was that? And I ask that because I would like to ask you, would you be willing to read out loud that motion of consideration without any critical, sensitive information in it? Maybe on our or on our next phone conversation.
Yeah, that'd be no problem. But right now, Daisy and I are getting ready to eat dinner, so
Okay, good. Yeah.
I'm going to say goodbye. I'll read it. I have to go pick it up. I paid for it, but the computer to print it out was offline on Friday.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I got to
Let's do that. Let's do that another time. We'll stay in touch. I want to say thank you very much for your time, and enjoy your dinner with Daisy. Say hi to her, and we'll talk soon. Okay, Michael?
All right, Allo. Thanks for your help.
Thank you very much, Michael. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Michael Fazio. This was a longer phone conversation. We touched on different topics, talked a little bit about Frank, Bama, Ricky, the lawyer, the court, rebars, and cement mixers. I didn't expect that one. And we will talk soon again. As you heard, Michael will see his lawyer again, and I believe this will drag on for weeks and months to come. And this will give us, the Philippines YouTube community, a lot to talk about. I'll catch you on the next one. As you can see, the guys here are already sending me all kinds of info again. So, all of the winter out, and thanks for tuning in.